Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Sam.
And we're both co-founders of ZeroPoint Ventures. Look, ZeroPoint Ventures is a new type of support system to help founders turn great ideas into meaningful product companies that can sustain themselves and a small team to work on the stuff they love.
Our aim is to help founders go from idea to a business that generates $1 million in annual turnover within about 2 years. If you're working on a side project or have an idea or you want to create a business like that, you've come to the right place.
Absolutely. Look, we've built high-growth startups before. In New Zealand, we've probably worked with 600 founders, primarily at the early stage. And the biggest lesson and insight we've seen over those founders is that early journey is not obvious. Where you should go, what you should do next. It's not very clear.
Yeah, when Dan and I designed and led Lightning Lab, New Zealand's top accelerator program, we saw lots of people come in and they were focused on building a great product. But they didn't know that they were actually supposed to be building a great business.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty key. Most people aren't experts in building businesses. They're experts in their own field or their own skill set.
There's so much information out there to help people build businesses that it's often hard to know what you should listen to and what you shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we created ZeroPoint Ventures. So we distilled our own lessons, learned both from our own ventures and working with others into a clear step-by-step pathway. So we've developed a self-paced, almost guided approach, helping you find that real venture worth building. Before you have to give up your day job or mortgage your house or spend all your money to fund it, which is what we've often seen. So ZeroPoint has three elements to our offering. The first is this guided platform and pathway to help you build your venture. It's an online tool, helps break down the journey into a series of manageable paths. The second thing is we've built a seed fund around this because I think most people underestimate the amount of capital it takes to build a great business. The traditional models of funding a startup like this is you're pushed hard, you've got to go really fast, to reach that exit to pay back your investors. And we don't think this is the right approach for everyone, especially for a lot of the founders that we see in New Zealand.
Yeah, the third part of the ZeroPoint Ventures model is that we have active coaching, one-on-one active coaching with each founder from a coach like Dan, myself, or other mentors in our network. The purpose of that coaching is to help you stay accountable, provide objective advice, and provide some intensity when you're going through the steps. Yeah,
and so we were thinking, how do we cost a program like this? And we thought, well, how would we want a program like this to work if we were to go through it? And something which appreciates the bootstrapping nature of an early company and, just the limited cash flows that you have as early founders. So we designed the program with no upfront cost at all. And if you compare, a traditional investment model where investors are looking for 20 to 30 times return on the money, our model is capped at just 5 times return. And that's both of our time and money that we put into helping you grow this venture. And over time, if your venture's successful, we look to put about $180K into your venture to help cover those cash flow shortfalls as you get to your $1 million. And I guess the nice thing here from a founder's perspective is that you only pay that back if and when you hit $1 million. And even then, you pay it back slowly over time from your revenues. But look, let's also be realistic. Some companies do fail, and Sam and I have had plenty of our own failures and seen plenty of other failures along the way. So if you don't hit $1 million, that's fine. There's nothing to pay back in our model either.
So who is ZeroPoint Ventures for? Well, we're primarily interested in dealing with founders that want to build software companies. That's where our own experience lies. And we also think, more specifically, there's a sweet spot in New Zealand for building companies whose customers are other companies. We think companies in New Zealand like Vend, Unleashed and Xero are doing a really good job of being business-to-business, the SaaS companies. And I think that in New Zealand specifically, there's a really good opportunity to harness the small business economy that we have here. It's easy to talk to business owners and it's easy to reach them. So if you're looking to build a software business in a domain that you have experience in that targets other small and medium-sized businesses as its customers, we're really interested to hear from you.
Look, our goal here really is to help founders with great ideas to create meaningful businesses and earn money doing work they love. Why wouldn't you all want to do that? But our focus really is on getting you to the first revenue milestone, not necessarily your first investor milestone. We want companies to stay independent for longer or even indefinitely, so that's why we don't take any equity in our model. And that gives companies a lot more optionality over where they grow. maybe you maybe you can take venture money at that point when you hit your $1 million, and you'll be in a much stronger position and better valuation to take money there. Or maybe grow organically. Once you're earning revenue, it's much easier for you to plan and build that growth engine that takes you to the next stage. Or even still, maybe just stay a $1 million business. I mean, that's not to be sniffed at. That's a pretty solid business in anyone's eyes.
Yeah, either way, our goal is to get you to that first revenue milestone and prove there's a real business there before going any bigger. So that's ZeroPoint Ventures in a nutshell. If you have an idea, or you're working on a side project, or you want to build a business like we've talked about, sign up for our guided app at www.zeropoint.ventures. It's super simple to get started, it costs nothing, and Dan and I and our mentors will be there to guide you along the journey.
Cool. Well, we look forward to seeing you on your way to becoming a ZeroPoint Venture.